Alrighty, so let's you know what? Let's just not even delay any further. Let's open this thing up. See if I can. I lucked out and got mine Wednesday. Maria is too much fun. Nice. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah. Uh, that's awesome. Yeah, with the delay, I was sad that there was a delay, but honestly, it kind of waited or it kind of worked out a little bit in my travel favor. But I wish that everyone was able to get it, a couple weeks ago. Uh, I've been seeing some people, post that they've been able to get it. It's awesome. Oh, the release date in May 23 in France. Wow. I know Villain. We So spoiler alert. Shadow the Cast. Next episode. We recorded it yesterday. Recorded with Villain. We interviewed Caleb, and so that was really fun. But during that, Villain, who's in the UK, got it yesterday. So I'm hoping that maybe Tumas that gets modified a little bit. Good morning, Nelson. Hey, living for games. How's your hand doing? My hand's doing a lot better. I think kind of what it took was a couple of days or like a week of me not actually doing anything with it. Um, I wasn't doing any I wasn't working out or anything, but being at a conference and just moving around, carrying things, all of that, I think that was still aggravating it. And so yesterday was the first day I woke up and I didn't feel pain, which was nice. Um, I have a lot more range of motion with the wrist, which is nice. Um, though if I pick up something pretty heavy, I will feel it. So I'm hoping that we're just a couple of days away from being back to normal. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Deranged DJ, let's go. Still not here in Canada. Can't wait for my own copy. Oh, I'm hoping it comes so soon. Agents of Shield. Um, One of the things that we talked about in uh the podcast episode that is coming out soon is that there's a comic at the end of this that kind of teases the uh next big box expansion, which is Caleb's expansion. So when we get there, we'll check it out. How's my vacation? It was fantastic. I spent 2 weeks in India doing like a Habitat for Humanity build. It wasn't with that organization, but it was very similar to that. Very, very awesome. It was fantastic. And then got back. The trip back was long. The trip back was delayed about 2 days. And so we spent more time in a random hotel in Delhi, which kind of I think knocked me out from a health standpoint. But all that to be said, oh my gosh, it's so crazy to see him right here. All that to be said, fantastic, amazing, knocked me out. Then I went to Louisville. I did a conference in Louisville for the board game industry called Gamma. That was amazing. I've talked about it a little bit before, but I have another business where I work directly with board game retail stores to help create video content for them. And this last week was just phenomenal for that. And so very, very, very happy. Very, very busy, which is awesome. But yeah, I appreciate you asking. Hey Ryan, wrist is feeling better. Wrist is feeling better. I'm not picking up anything heavy, but I'm also not crying to myself every night to go to sleep. So do you ever make a video or talk about the soon to be FOMO with LCGs? That's on my to do list. It's on my to do list. I've been doing a lot of work with my other business, and following up and doing a lot of that, kind of getting that because we over tripled our consumers, which is awesome, right? But so I've been doing a lot of that. The Yes, I will be doing one. Kind of at this point, I'm hoping that they're making some sort of another announcement so that we have a little bit more certainty. If we don't see that, I'm thinking that it's going to be something that I put out a little probably next week to kind of talk about. But yeah, I think I the other thing about that, and probably the other reason that I'm procrastinating a little bit on the creation of that video is I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. I think overall it's bittersweet. I think the sweet part of that is the knowledge and the statement that they are planning to do this for a long time. Um, and that's really exciting. That's really exciting. I think the fact that we're losing access to a lot of the old cards in terms of like a constructed format is sad. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'll be interested, and I think I will have a better understanding of how I feel about it once we do see that first redesign of a hero, right? So, whenever we see Strange or Captain America and that redesign that they're talking about, I think I'll have a little bit better of a feeling of what that looks like or how I feel about the entire situation. Um, but yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I don't know. But let's look at Nick Fury. Alrighty, so Nick Fury, Surfer Nick here. This is our alter ego side. Nick Fury with a 4 recovery, 10 hit points, 6 hand size, suit up. Put your suit form upgrade into play, assault side face up, and as the action, we can change the stealth suit form. Then when we flip over, he's got a 2/2/2 stat line, and he has a gather intel response saying that after he makes a basic thwart, place 1 threat on your suit form upgrade. And then break cover, force interrupt. When you attack, change to assault suit form. So basically you're in stealth form. And this is your form changing suit. So you have stealth and assault. Boom. Boom. We're starting in assault phase. It's a permanent card. It starts in play. When you attack, remove up to 3 threat from here. This attack deals 1 damage for each threat removed this way. Now, what's really cool about this is because when we're making a basic thwart with our gather intel, we're adding threat. So as we are thwarting, we're kind of, so sometimes when you're using your basic activation and you're thwarting, you're losing out on damage, which is something that is something you need to just kind of be cognizant with in true solo. But if you're being able to then add damage, especially if it's a multi-instance of damage, like a melee or a 1x1, that gets the increase gets added to each instance of damage. Then if we flip over to stealth, this is a force interrupt hero. When an enemy would attack you, it schemes instead. Place 1 threat from that activation here instead of on the main scheme if there's 5 or less threat. If there's 5 or less threat on this card. So as you're in stealth, you cannot be attacked. When he makes a basic thwart, you're adding threats here. And then whenever you would attack, you're going to flip directly into stealth. That's a force interrupt, which takes effect before the interrupt of the flip, or before the interrupt here, which is when you attack, remove 3 threat. So pretty cool. I'm excited. I think it's going to be, Nick Fury is going to be one of those heroes that is going to grow as you play him more and get an understanding of when you want to be in stealth, when you want to be in assault. But it's a really cool like thing, right? Really cool design space. Well, I was worried about it because the day it came out, I bought Arkham Core Box the day before. So my buddy and I went to the casino. He gave me $100. I could only use the winnings towards Arkham for us. Let's just say I have everything up until Edge of the Earth was. Oh, that's crazy. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. I know rationally it doesn't matter too much that they out of print Captain and Doctor Strange. There's so many heroes to play with. But I know if I didn't have Captain and Doctor Strange, I would be frustrated. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm hoping that those reprints do come sooner rather than later, because I think that there's a lot of people who are going to be coming into our game, right, that want Doctor Strange, that want Captain America. They're such iconic heroes. And not having access to that can be a turnoff for a lot of new players, which is sad. Good morning, Leroy. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you. Full year. That's amazing. Thank you. Good morning. Looking to get my shield box today at lunch. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Our signature ally here is Maria Hill herself. 3 cost 2/1. She does have an interrupt when she thwarts. You place the remove threat on your suit form upgrade, which is nice because you can then use that threat for. Let me get my shield, my sleeves out. Use that threat to increase damage and, I don't know, spoiler alert, maybe interact with some other different cards. Yeah, same. I'm just glad I don't have to worry about FOMO anymore, but I'm sad others have to deal with it. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of Silk, Nelson? I have not done a lot on Silk. That's another thing that I was out of the country for when they announced that. When I came back, it was, uh, busy, busy, busy. But so far, what the little that I have seen, because the article came out at like 11 p.m. my time, or I think it was like 10:30 my time, and I was just like exhausted because I'd been working all day. Um, Looked really cool. Looked really cool, but that is another thing that I wanted to dive in a little bit more next week. Uh, when the current legacy environment starts, do you see yourself only playing current or legacy on stream, or a bit of both? That's a good question. And I think that's going to be one of the core questions that I pose in the video, and potentially something that I want to work with the community to figure out. Um, I like all the cards. I also understand that there are going to be people who do not have access to all of the cards, and so my gut reaction would probably be a little bit of both. Um, that being said, uh, I'm going to enjoy this game with all, some, none, well, probably not none, all, some, or a few of the cards. And so it's just something that I want to work with the community to figure out what the community wants, and then I'll probably just go that route. Both heroes look decent with the psychic. Ooh, that'd be cool. Yeah. You're gonna resort your bonder bike boxes for deck building according to current and legacy. I think so. My thought here is that I'm going to be putting another sticker on legacy cards. And so things that go into the binder, I think I'll probably choose like orange or something, like a color sticker that I don't use for anything else, and put that maybe on the bottom left-hand corner of the card, and then so that I can easily delineate which ones are which. Silk with Ghost Spider is going to be my two-handed. Oh, sick. I think I'm going to largely play Legacy, but I think it'll be fun to play new boxes and current. Yeah. More video content, ideas, Legacy and current. Yeah. Okay, so next up, we've got Concentrated Fire. This is a 2-cost attack event, so this will force us to flip into Assault form with our suit, with that forced response. Hero action attack. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. This attack gains ranged. If this attack defeats an enemy, we get to choose to either place threats on our suit upgrade equal to that enemy's printed scheme, or change to stealth suit form. So a little bit of fixing, because this is going to be a, after in that Marvel Champions equivalent of a stack, right? So if we use Concentrated Fire, we flip into Assault form, we defeat the enemy using Concentrated Fire. We're a sniper, right? We're running away, we're hiding, and we can flip right back to Stealth form. And Stealth form, when an enemy would attack you, schemes instead. I think it'll be interesting. I think Nick is going to be one of those risk or reward characters that I'm going to struggle with. So is the new content not balanced with regards to the old? I'm still confused about Legacy. Yeah, effectively, yes. So kind of what they were saying is that the old content, the outer print content, and we have not heard what the timeline is of what they're calling a rotation will be. I'm guessing it's going to be around 2 years. That's typically what we see in like Star Wars Unlimited and stuff. When they're designing new products, anything that is not in the current environment will not be used to playtest against the new products, or with the new products. So if there's a crazy broken combo with Captain America with one of the cards printed in a new upcoming pack, that would not be something that they would consider. They would only be balancing around the last X number of releases or something like that. Congratulations on your business gaining some more traction. I have a business that's going to launch. Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting. It's an exciting and busy time. I'm just glad Make the Call will always be evergreen. Yeah, because of the core set and Maria Hill. Nice. Next up, we got a 1-cost thwart event. This is Covert Surveillance. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. If you're in stealth suit form, you may place that threat on your suit form upgrade. Otherwise, you may change to stealth suit form. We got 3 copies of this where we only had 2 copies of Concentrated Fire. 1 for 2 is not super great, right? Like we have Clear the Area, which is a 1 for 2 and a card draw. That being said, getting the threat onto your suit upgrade, which then can be turned into damage. So now you can look at this as like a 1 for 2 threat and 2 damage. that's a lot more palatable when we're looking at efficiency in cards. So you probably want to be trying to trigger that, but a 1 for 2, not super great. Also, like as we're playing and getting a understanding of how all of this works out, I'll be curious to see how easy or how hard it is to get into stealth form, or how frequently we actually want to be in stealth form. Great explanation. I just hope to ignore it and keep playing. And that's the beauty of the cooperative nature of the game, right? Like in Magic the Gathering, Star Wars Unlimited, that kind of stuff. You can't show up with a Black Lotus, right? You cannot do that in a premier format because it's competitive. This is a cooperative game. We're here to have fun. And like the thing that I think is the most sad about it is people who are going to want old content, specifically heroes that cannot get them until they are reprinted. I think they started the legacy format because they were worried that Brains Over Brawn was too. I agree. Brains Over Brawn is OP, so much so that I do not play it. It's just not fun. No more Hone Technique. They did say that they would be looking at older cards and potentially reprinting them in the current environment, or rebalancing in the current environment. And so if we Hone Technique is such a staple, I would hope that once the Nova pack rolls off, and I believe Hone Technique came in the Nova pack, once Hone Technique rolls off, that they would reprint it in a newer pack so that it stays within the legacy or the current environment, because Hone Technique is just so much fun. How do you think Nick Fury will fare in Aggression? So far, I think he probably is going to thrive there. Mainly because you can iterate on that damage. And so if you go with like something with like a warrior skill with his assault form, or his break cover, or whatever it is, the assault interrupt. And what's the aggressive energy? The resource card in red that increases that damage plus a Hone Technique. You're looking at like a melee doing like 12 and 12, which just kind of seems kind of fun. Hone Technique is 2 warping for card design. That's fair. I like it. I like it. Playing Aggression is going to be complicated. Yeah, right. Um, I like Hone Technique. It's a lot to set up. It's really slow. I think it kind of, in 4 players it gets more warped than it does in true solo. So so through a true solo lens, I think Hone Technique is fun. Probably not the best way to play Aggression, but in 4 players, yeah. I mean, I think the bigger issue with Hone Technique is Dive Bomb. I think it's not necessarily a Hone Technique issue. I think it's a Dive Bomb issue, if that makes sense, right? Dive Bomb doing 11 and 5 to everything on the table, I think warps the perception of how good Hone Technique is. Because I think if you remove if you remove Dive Bomb from the card pool, Hone Technique does not get played nearly as often. I hope all the reprints get new cards. Yeah, I think they will. I think that they will. I'm having a hard time finding Age of Apocalypse and Red Skull. Oh, and cards is melee. Um, sure, but you're also not playing melee without Hone Technique, right? Like, or like Gambit or Nick. I don't really. I'm not pulling melee into my deck unless I have a way to increase that damage. And so I'm okay with Hone Technique being in the card pool because it creates a way for me to play melee, because melee is just not super effective outside of Zola. AOA is getting reprinted for sure. With Red Skull, you're going to have to dig. Yeah. Yeah. We got Spray Fire. This is a 3-cost attack. Choose a player, deal 3 damage to the villain, and each minion engaged with that player. This attack gains ranged. So interesting. We don't see a ton of AoE attacks. Usually those are not labeled as attacks, and so we could probably pull some shenanigans. Spectrum Prodigy, thank you so very much for the subscription. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you. I appreciate it. Today's a good day. The nice thing about Spray Fire, since it is an attack, we can use the interrupt on the assault, so it can be 6 damage to the villain and everything engaged with us. That's pretty cool. I'm also like curious how this would work and this is not going to be a good deck, but this could be a very fun deck, right? You run Spray Fire, follow through, marked, and you run like against Ultron or against like the drones, because if you mark a minion, any attack against it gets overkill. Follow through increases that damage by 3, but every instance of overkill damage gets increased by 3. So if you have if you have 3 Ultron drones, because you can only have 3 marked, each overkill you attack for 6, 5 damage is rolling over. Then we get the follow through, which is going to be 8 damage rolling over. My math right there be 6. Yeah, it'd be 8 damage rolling over. 3 times, that'd be 16 damage. That'd be insane, right? Because for 3 you're attacking the villain for 16, 20 something damage. That'd be crazy. That'd be a really fun multiplayer deck. Thank you so very much, Owen, for the subscription. Woo! 5 months. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. And the hype train is here. Hype train. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. Are you going to play two-handed or just one hero on stream? I'm going to do both heroes. I'm going to play both heroes just separately. But then I'm hoping this weekend and probably Sunday. Sundays are usually when I post my my two-handed plays, and maybe Monday I'll post a two-handed. I want to do a two-handed with the 2 of these. Heiser Owl just picked up your copy. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I'm really excited. But yeah, I want to do a marked overkill. Yeah, a marked overkill follow through 1 turn kill multiplayer, because Spray Fire can do some work there. We've got Fury's Flying Car, one of my favorite looking card arts in these sets. It's a hero action. We can exhaust this car, remove 1 threat from our suit, and ready Nick. He gains Aerial until the end of the round. Very fun. Talking about Aerial with the dive bomb. This is this is a support, so we have this for a, whenever we can do it. What I like about this is you can basically take 1 threat for a ready. I think the Aerial will be somewhat situationally good. It is a build support target. It's under the 3 cost, so that's nice. I'll be interested to see how that works. I love the art. Yeah, it's so retro and fun, right? Juan, awesome. I think Maria Hill is way better than Nick Fury. I think so too. It looks like one of the best boxes in the games here on Villains. Nice. That's exciting. That's really cool to hear. That's really, really fun to hear. Especially because like I know that there is a lot of like, or at least I saw a lot of I don't know what the right word here is, but a lot of people sounded upset that they were getting a shield, or that we were going into a shield theme, because it's not as epic as some of the others. But I think that I love spies, but I also think that the mechanics here look fantastic. We got Safe House 221. I don't believe this is the same safe house that Natasha is hanging out in, but I don't remember what Natasha's numbers are. But as an alter ego action, we can heal 2 damage from Fury or place 1 threat on our suit form upgrade. I find this a little interesting because I'm not 100% sure how frequently you're taking damage with Fury, especially if you're trying to hang out in stealth mode. That being said, placing that threat on your suit is effectively just like charge counters with Gambit. You kind of want to use that. I think I like... Well, it's going to be harder to get threat onto your suit than it is to get charge counters, but the threat on the suit can be used on a basic attack, or charge counters. I think they're only events, right? So that's kind of nice. But if you're able to place 1 threat on your suit form upgrade, you can pop up an attack for 3, which is minion clearing, which is nice. Like a 3 attack, I think is just like a incredibly more beneficial step, going 2 to 3 than 1 to 2, because a lot of minions get cleared out at that point. I don't think it's a bad box, not on the same level as Sinister Motives. Sinister Motives is really solid. Black Widow's safe house is 29. Wow, they have a lot of safe houses. We got the EM Shield. So this is a 2-cost tech preparation upgrade. Says when you would take any amount of damage from an attack, discard EM Shield, prevents all of that damage. Now, I'm really excited to pull this with Coulson, because yeah, I don't know how much we're taking damage with Widow, right? Because we have, or I'm sorry, with Fury, because we have the stealth, they're scheming. Maybe we're just like in a situation where we don't worry about defense. This is a defense card, so it will trigger all of your defense upgrades if you're trying that perfect defense build. I'm not sure how good that build will be with Fury because you want to be, or you just like don't want to be in stealth form if that's the case. So, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Spectrum, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the follow and the sub. You're awesome. Shield Team is really interesting, but we're all waiting on a box for street levels with Daredevil and others. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. We got the eye patch camera. This is another tech preparation. As a hero interrupt, when any amount of threat would be placed on the main scheme, discard eye patch. Place up to 3 of that threat on your suit form upgrade instead. What I like about this is true solo. This helps you with that, with being in stealth form where all the enemies are scheming against you rather than attacking you. You can't jump block a scheme, which is effectively what the eye patch camera is doing. We do have 2 preparation tech events here. We have a way to ready. I'm spying a repurposed deck here. Because if we can repurpose the EM shield, since we're not really taking too much damage, it may not be too bad to repurpose that. Then pop that out. We get to ready. Now we're attacking for 4. Flying car. We can attack again. So we do have readies. We do have, I wouldn't call them expensive, but more expensive tech cards already in the kit. Seems pretty good. We got another tech upgrade. So yeah, no, I really want to play this repurpose deck now. As a 1-cost Fury's Watch upgrade, we can exhaust the watch, remove up to 2 threat from your suit upgrade, generate a mental resource for each threat removed that way. So this is one of those that I'm probably not repurposing because it does not get discarded. It's a ongoing generator, which is really nice. Probably looking at repurposing EM Shield more frequently. I like the flexibility that these provide though. Defenders would be so amazing. Daredevil, Blade, Ghost Right, yeah. Force interrupt, play the hero phase with your. Maybe I'm the only one, but I love to see another wave of the Spider-Verse. I would love to see a wave, but I'm also like just happy if they're just sprinkling in Web Warriors like Silk as we go along. I'm also cool with that. Yeah, at least there's Silk. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see more of those just get added to the game as we play. Got a 0-cost preparation skill called Intelligence Analysis. When you reveal a treachery, we can discard this card and remove 1 threat from your suit upgrade to cancel the effects of that treachery and discard it. Amazing. Amazing. 0-cost upgrade. So cancels out caught off guard immediately. Because you just discard this. But also like there's some nasty treacheries in this game. And like, yeah, it'll be interesting to see like covert surveillance putting the threat on the ski or on your suit. It does not look like there is any limit to how much threat you can have on your suit. It does. This force interrupt only works if there's 5 or less threat on your suit, but it sounds like you can go higher than 5. And so like Fury's Watch, the resource generator. Okay. That could, yeah. And then we got Secret Agent. This is a 2-cost upgrade. Hero response. After you resolve the ability of a preparation card you control, move 1 threat from a scheme to your suit form upgrade. Intelligence analysis. Yeah. So good. So yeah, there's the Secret Agent right there. After you resolve the ability of a prep card, these are, oh, nope. These 3 are prep cards. Plus, we got a ton of prep cards just in the game, and we have we'll see some more prep cards coming as we start looking at our Justice Precon here. But this is not a discard. This is just another way to get those that threat onto your suit form upgrade. So minimum, once you have these guys on the table, you just have a free resource every time you're playing a prep card. And I think most of the prep cards we have are one cost. So that's kind of nice. You kind of get just like a free prep card. Very, very Natasha, right? Looks really interesting. I'm Nick feels like one of those characters that I just have to play, and I'm just kind of struggling to see all of the play lines just because he feels fairly unique with the movements of threat and then using that threat as a resource on your attacks, but also your upgrades. It'll be interesting to see where you prioritize that and how frequently you're actually able to get the prep onto the suit. If you're thwarting a ton, like if you're in stealth form, you're probably not doing a ton of attacks. So my initial thought is that the opening kind of stage of the game, we're going to be spending a lot of time in stealth, doing a lot of thwarting, building up our threat on our suit, just continuously thwarting and building in that sense. Uh, the interesting thing is that if you're building a deck where you are going to be managing threat that is going to be placed on the main scheme, either by being in stealth mode, you can also be in alter ego mode. Hey Greg, how's it going? Good morning. You can also be in alter ego mode, and then you get to build a little bit faster because you get that 6th hand size. Now you're not adding as much threat to your suit, but it's not as detrimental if you're flipping down to alter ego form uh, to build if you have built your deck around maintaining yourself in stealth form because you're already set up to handle the threat. Now, Nick against Rhino is scary. Nick against anyone who is going to double scheme against you is scary. That being said, intelligence analysis is not a hero interrupt, and so worst case scenario, you can save intelligence analysis for a advance, right? So you can cancel the treachery. You can once you have this on the table, you feel pretty good. All in all, I think Nick looks fun. I'm excited to try Nick, but let's take a look at his Justice Precon. And what we'll do for our first games with both of these characters is we will build a deck that kind of keeps the spirit of the Precon, but I don't necessarily know how good the Precons are going to be. Sometimes, there's 1x cards that they put 3 of just so you have a play set of the cards in the Precon. So we'll modify this Precon. Actually, before we do that, let's take a look at our obligation and our nemesis. So discovered, this is our obligation. When revealed, change to assault suit form. I love the art on this. He's just like spotlight. He's like, oh no. Change to assault suit form. If there is no threat on your suit form upgrade, this card gains surge. Otherwise, choose to either take 1 damage for each threat on your suit form upgrade, or remove each threat from your suit form upgrade. In either case, discard this card. Okay, well there you go. That's a way to de-incentivize you just throwing 13 threat on your suit form upgrade. Yikes. Yeah. It's not a treachery, so you can't cancel with your prep card. That could come at a very inopportune moment. Then our Nemesis. The Nemesis minion is Orion. He's a 2/6. Jeez. Toughness. He can have any number of tough status cards. So this is this is Armadillo or Colossus. After he takes any amount of damage, give him a tough status card. I hate it. Oh, that's brutal. Now, yeah, he has to actually take the damage. So if a tough status card prevents the damage from being dealt, he doesn't get a tough status. But just like, oh, be annoying. So you really want to one-shot this guy. Gross. Acquire the Infinity Formula. This is our side scheme. Forced response. This does have an amplify token. It only comes in with 5 threat, regardless of player count. Forced response. After Nick takes any amount of damage, give Orion a tough status card. If he's not in play, find him and put him into play engaged with the Nick Fury player. Ooh. Not a fan of drawing this Nemesis set. Seems pretty mean. Plus, both of these have 3 boost icons. At least there's only 3 boost icons on the rest of the cards, but still, that's crazy. We got the Leviathan Soldier. It's a 0 scheme, 2 attack, 4 health with toughness. After Leviathan Soldier schemes, deal 1 damage to the engaged player's identity. So Leviathan Soldier is scheming 4-0, but it's pulling back Orion. So you thought you were safe. There's actually 2 copies of those. These are the ones that are going to be shuffled into the deck. They're not going to come and engage you because they're not the Nemesis minion. And so if you draw shadows or if you hit the face the past threshold, you're only seeing these 2, and then you'll draw into these eventually. Then the last card we have is a Treachery, which is cancelable with his 0 cost card, Cold Storage. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for a Leviathan minion and put it into play engaged with you. Shuffle. Otherwise, take 2 damage. As a boost, take 1 damage. What's really annoying here is that boost effect happens before any of the damage is dealt from the attack. So take 1 damage. The boost effect also happens on a scheme. Boost effect, if you take 1 damage, you could pop a tough status card, and then if you're planning on soaking the attack into a tough, this boost, the take 1 damage, pops the tough, and then you take the full amount of damage. If you are planning on chump blocking and this is still out, the take 1 damage, you take that damage, which brings Orion out. If it's a villain attack, Orion immediately will then attack you. Brutal. Yikes. Yeah, so that's annoying. I feel like Nick is probably gonna want to run target acquired regardless, but that's it's not the nicest Nemesis that I've ever seen. Do you like playing with shadows or face the past more? I've been playing a lot more with face the past, the standard 3 set. I like it a lot more. So I think since standard 3 has come out, I think I've only played like 2 or 3 games with standard 1. Alrighty, we got a Justice Precon. So let's take a look and see what Justice cards are. And now that we are looking at this, with the announcement of the legacy and the current environments, this kind of gets to show like what cards are going to be around for even longer. Like I think Agent Coulson, was he in Black Widow or was he in Core? I want to say Black Widow. But like as Black Widow rolls off of our current environment, we will still be able to play Coulson because it's in the Shield environment. So hey, chicken, how's it going? I've only been playing Standard 3 since AOA is less random. Yeah, I agree. So Agent Coulson, we've seen and we know and love him. Well, I don't know if we love him. He's okay. It's a 3-cost 2/1/3. As a response, after he enters play, search your deck and discard pile for a preparation card to add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. Black Widow loves it, but also Nick Fury loves this card because you can play this. You can go grab any of your prep cards that are hero specific. So you could take your EM Shield. Intelligence Analysis feels really good here, especially if you just procced Intelligence Analysis to stop a Dark Designs or something like that. Play Agent Coulson, go grab, and then you can play Intelligence Analysis without actually paying for anything because it's 0 cost. Feels pretty good. I like seeing the Nemesis. Yeah, I do too. I feel like it's more consistent that you see the Nemesis, but you kind of are able to prepare for that Nemesis a little bit more. Hey, chicken, thank you for the subscription. 10 months, let's go. Happy to have your box. Yeah. I think I'm more excited for Maria. Than Nick, which is why we're unboxing Nick first. Good morning, Nelson and friends. Even though I literally work on my FLGS, I can't afford the new expansion right now. Oh no. I'm going to have to wait until my birthday later this month. In the meantime, I'm going to live vicariously through you. Well, happy early birthday. Yeah, good to you say see you, I guess. I don't know. Good to interact with you. We got Quake again, another Shield ally. Seen and no Quake. 2/1/2/2. After a minion schemes, exhaust Quake, deal 2 damage to that minion. Quake gets a lot better when we're looking at Nick because Quake when Nick is in stealth form, hits minions because they're going to be scheming against you rather than attacking you, even if you're in hero form. So, can you tell whoever designed Ghost Spider that they were cooking? I think that was MJ. I think that was MJ. I think she did that entire box. Ghost Spider, Miles. MJ's now at Earthborn Rangers. So if you like the design space of Sinister Motives, uh, she was the lead designer on a lot of the Arkham products as well, and now she has moved to the Earthborn Rangers team and is designing Earthborn Rangers. In France, the box will come on May 23rd, but we have Black Panther April 18th. Yeah, that is really frustrating. Logistics suck. What is Earthborn? BORN. It's another. I can't call it an LCG because FFG has trademarked LCG. It's another game. It's another living card game. But it's a little bit more Arkham based, where it's more RPG esque, where you're playing through like a campaign. We got Global Logistics. So far, we have not seen a new yellow card, but we can exhaust a shield card you control, look at the top 4 cards of a player deck, discard, or put them back in anywhere. Sinister box is by far my favorite box. Nice. Yeah, MJ did leave FFG. That was a couple months ago, I think she announced that. I think every product that Earthborn Rangers currently has out was not designed by MJ, but I think she has been working on the new stuff for Earthborn Rangers. I want to take a look here. Nick Fury is a shield card. So you could technically exhaust Nick Fury to trigger Global Logistics. So that's kind of interesting. Maria is also shield, but I'm kind of curious if there are mainly the flying tech or the flying car is not a shield. Safe House 221. That's really nice. Okay. So this is great. Global Logistics requires you to exhaust a shield card you control. If you are not going to Alter Ego, Safe House is just not going to be exhausted. So there's a very good target for a exhaust to trigger a Global Logistics or a whatever the other one is that I don't think is actually in this deck. What is that card called? What is the other shield Justice 0 cost card called that removes threat? Regardless, it's a good target for that. Apparently, LES announced. Apparently, it's announced on April. Oh, okay. Was it really that long ago? That's insane. Time means nothing anymore. Well, she was cooking with that box. I will say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is looking like a close second. Nice. Yeah, so this is Tony. Tony's design. Tony is now the lead designer on the Champions line. I work at a local game store, not FFG themselves. Nice. Good morning, everyone. I go to US from April 14th to 21, but what expansion is on store at that time? As you go around, I think it's a big question mark of what is going to be in the stores at that time. Shield will definitely be there. Probably a lot of the mutant stuff. But yeah, hope you have a safe trip. Next up, we've got Informant. We got Taskmaster over here looking insane. Look at that is Taskmaster, right? Look at Taskmaster's face. Like that is, he looks like he has seen some stuff. Max 1 Prepare. This is another preparation card, which makes Black Widow very happy. Interrupt when a minion schemes. Discard this card. The activation removes threat instead of placing it. Insane. Also crazy that it is not a hero interrupt. You can use this as an Alter Ego, which this card becomes very good for any Justice. It's a minion scheming though, so it's not. Maybe not. Then I was like, okay, if it is if it was a villain activation, that'd be different. But a minion scheming, still, that's fine. You can Informant, then Quake a minion and just destroy it, which is pretty funny. That'd be fun. Mike, you look amazing, Nelson. Been a while since I've seen a stream video. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Homeland Intervention. Thank you so much. No feed. Yeah. Yes. Homeland Intervention. Alrighty. This is the first new Justice card for us, so we're gonna put a little sticker on it. because it goes in the binder now. A lot of reprints in the decks. Yeah. Um there are. It looks like yeah, we got Sky Destroyer. There are. Yeah. But I think a lot of these cards came in Sinister Motives, which is not really available right now. So like it's sad that there are reprints, but I'm happy for people who cannot get access to Sinister Motives that they do have access to these cards. Yeah. Silver lining, right? Next up, we got another one cost preparation called Intelligence, max 1 per player, with Natasha right there on the card because they know we're running it with Natasha. After a player is dealt an encounter card, discard Intelligence, look at the encounter card dealt to each player and the top card in the encounter deck. You can swap any number of those cards. That's really cool. That's really, really fun. Interesting. I like it because I mean Widow loves this, right? Because you get the card draw, you get the uh get to proc Widow's Bite will deal damage, and then you can, save yourself, which is really nice. Will I be playing the precon? I'm going to be playing a modified version of the precon. And so what we'll do is we'll take the idea of what this is doing. We may cut out like an informant, a intelligence, and kind of just build around. But the idea is to keep the theme and the idea of the precon intact, and then build and just modify the precon a little bit. Informant has a real life image of Taskmaster learning about his role in the new Thunderbolts movie. Yes, love it. I will do gameplay. Yes. Plan is minimum 2 games, one with each. We'll see where that takes us. Yes. Next up, we got a Prism Dust. This is a preparation tech. Max 1 per player. Iron Man screams Iron Man to me, right? Because we got that one cost tech. Iron Man also really likes justice because he's going to be spending a lot of his day in alter ego form. And so being able to keep or increase his hand size for really inexpensive is nice. After a minion enters play, we can discard Prism Dust to confuse that minion and deal 2 damage to it. That is a hero response, but I really like the idea of a one cost tech upgrade. That makes Iron Man very happy all the time. Informant will be good against villainous. Oh yeah, that's a great call. Yeah. Web Warrior Fanatic did the campaign with Maria, and he made her look unstoppable. Nice. I think Maria's gonna be insane. I'm really pumped to try out Maria. Prism Dust. Boom. It is a bit like Widow's Bite. Yeah. But I'm really excited about this card with the new what is the keyword on the new minions that vulnerable. When a character with vulnerable becomes stunned or confused, that character is immediately discarded. Yes, thank you, No Feet. Yes. So Prism Dust will delete any of those vulnerable keywords. I think Nick is definitely more the wild card, while Maria is the winner of all time. Yeah, Maria feels insane. We got Under Surveillance. We know and we love the card. Increase the main scheme or the target threat value of the attached main scheme by 4. Nick loves it because a lot of people are scheming against him. We got Nick Fury Sr. This is our first basic card in the precon. 4 cost ally, 2/2/3, forced response. After Nick Fury Sr. enters play, choose one. We can remove 3 threat from a scheme, draw 2 cards, or give a shield character a tough status card. At the end of the round, if he is still in play, discard him. So very similar to Nick Fury Jr.'s ally counterpart, where get a benefit when he enters play. So it does also work with make the call and that kind of stuff. Not as good. 5 threat removal. If you bring him in, remove threat and thwart with him is pretty decent. Draw 2 cards, a little bit harder. Give a shield character a tough status card. Not as good as Nick. I hope that vulnerable will not be used only in this box. My guess is that it won't be. Trying to think of any keywords, like specifically things that have been given keywords that have only been used one time. I don't think there's too many of that. Like if they're going through the time to give it a keyword, it makes me think that it's going to be a mechanic that's going to have some sort of longevity. I'm afraid that Maria can only be played with supports, so no variability. It's very valid. Super Spies, insane team up card. Look at this card. 0 cost. Team up with Maria and Nick. So you have to have both of them on the table. Which in solo can be tough, but in multiplayer, insane. So as a hero action, place a total of 3 all-purpose counters and or threat tokens on shield supports and suit form upgrades. Now, this is okay for Nick, right? Getting the threat on his suit seems to be a decent thing. But we have some shield supports coming in the Maria precon that this just blows up, right? Like this is going to block 6 villain activations with the Pericles, right? Pericles stuns and confuses the villain. So a Super Spy 0 cost card blocks 6 activations. That's insane. This is one of the only team up cards that I think is worth running in true solo. So good. So good. Especially with like Maria and Nick's precon, where you kind of want Maria to hang out a little bit more than the leadership Maria. But yeah, insane. If you have both heroes at the table, the other one doesn't have to be in hero form, right? Correct. Only the one who plays the card has to be, because they are both titled Nick Fury on both sides, so that character is in play. Yes. Yeah, yes, correct. We have Gemma Simmons. This is a 3 cost support. It is a shield. Reduce the cost to play Gemma Simmons by 2 if you have the shield trait. So 1 cost support, which is nice. We can exhaust Gemma Simmons to generate a mental resource for a tech card. Sick. Kind of an interesting card for the Nick precon. We have 1 tech. We have the 3 techs in his kit. That being said, now I really want to run this this repurposed deck with Nick in green with Gemma Simmons. That seems like a lot of fun. Because now you're just getting those out very, very quickly. Cool. We got Leo. Leo is a 3 cost shield persona support, but he only costs 1 if you have the shield trait. And then Nick does have the shield trait on both of his sides. Yeah. Gemma could have been great if Iron Man was shield trait. I still think that Gemma, yes. I still think that Gemma has a spot in an Iron Man deck at 3 cost. Mainly because a lot of my build with Iron Man, I've been running a lot of meditation. Iron Man has a pretty decent economy in alter ego. And so throwing a 3 cost resource generator out there is not the end of the world with Iron Man. It just helps him ramp a little bit faster because he has so many tech cards. I think Gemma could still work with Iron Man. Maybe we'll get an honorary shield agent card someday. That'd be cool. Gemma and Fizz will be great in War Machine, who is shield trade and alter ego. Oh, good call. Yeah. So yeah. I don't think we ever actually read what Leo does. So 1 cost if you own shield. Exhaust him. Search your deck for a tech card and add it to your hand. Insane. Yeah. Iron Man feels really fun. I'm gonna start taking notes, because if I don't, I will forget everything that I say on the stream, because I want to start building out my roster for Old Hero New Tricks. So we definitely got Maria, or not Maria, I'm sorry, Natasha. And Iron Man. Because that'll be fun. That'll be really fun. These are 3 cost supports, so they are tutorable and playable with build support. And so if I think that's another interesting play line. Most of Spider's upgrades are tech. I don't think Host Spider is tech, but I think the other ones are. Like the interface upgrades are. But I don't think Host Spider is. But you don't want, yeah. Yeah. Sky Destroyer, play a shield card, destroy stuff. Damage is fun. Not an attack, which is important to note because you do not have to switch into assault mode if you are triggering a Sky Destroyer assault onto one of your enemies. Then the last card in Nick Fury's Precon is Practiced Plan. This is a 0-cost preparation card. Natasha loves it, right? Just cycles. After you discard a preparation card you control, discard Preparation Plan, return that card to your hand. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I remember reading this and looking at this earlier, but the fact that if you play this in alter ego form with Natasha, its effective cost is 0, right? If you're playing this with anybody else, the effective cost is 1 because it is the card that it's a card out of your hand which could be used as a resource. So that's the effective cost. Natasha in alter ego gets to draw a card whenever she plays a preparation card. So she's recycling that. Her effective cost for a Practice Plan is 0, and then you discard a preparation card. You discard Widow's Bite. You take the effects of Widow's Bite. You use Widowmaker, is that her ability? To deal a damage. Trigger Practice Plan, pull Widow's Bite back, deal another damage with Widowmaker, Black Widow's ability to pull Widow's Bite back, and then you can play it again next turn. That's amazing. This is also not a hero response, so you can do this in alter ego. Amazing. So good. So solid. Yeah, definitely gonna be playing some Black Widow here soon. Trying to figure out how to play Hawkeye when 99.9% of his deck have Nick Fury included, with him playing with a Nick Fury player. Swap him out for Senior, I guess. I don't know. X could be if you don't already have X in your deck, X could be a way to do that. Nelson, what is up? Hey Griffin, how you doing? You live in Canada. I have no idea when your box will arrive. Hopefully very soon. Hopefully very soon. Card draw is so important. Yeah. Okay, we're looking at the Precon. I think the Precon is pretty decent. We did get a good number of reprints. It looks like 8 reprints, 9 reprints with Sky Destroyer. So out of the 25, 9 is not too bad, especially because Sinister Motives, which is where a lot of these cards came from, is harder to find right now. And so from that standpoint, I'm happy that they are reprinting cards that work really well with Nick that are hard to find. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna keep the Precon together because when we come back to play Nick, what we're gonna do is just modify the Precon a little bit. We don't need 3 copies of Under Surveillance. Probably don't need 3 copies of like Informant, stuff like that. So we'll be modifying and playing. Nick's Precon is more for Black Widow than Nick. The same way Nightcrawler's Precon boosted. Yeah, right. Practice Plan with Secret Agent looks so good. Okay, so Practice Plan with Secret Agent. Is that a Nick Fury card? I'm still learning all the new cards. Yes, after you resolve the preparation card you control, move 1. Oh yeah, that's insane. That's really good because you're able to do that twice, and then also just Practice Plan with like eye patch camera, pop it and play it again. That's amazing. Yeah. Sick. So that's Nick Fury. I am very excited for Nick Fury, which makes this next sentence saying that I'm probably more excited for Maria even more exciting. So Maria is the next Precon. We'll just dive in and take a look at Miss Maria Hill. I think it was on Reddit or somewhere, and I apologize, I don't remember who said it, but they described it as Nick feels like the character is very much in the field doing the espionage, whereas Maria is kind of the commander and controlling S.H.I.E.L.D. from behind the desk. And so, yeah. Maria Hill. 3 recovery, 9 hit points, hand size of 6. You can include the maximum number of up to 3 shield supports in your deck from aspects other than your chosen aspect. Then we can exhaust Maria Hill to search your deck for a shield support and add it to your hand. Alrighty. Insane. So the shield supports in your deck are probably at least my initial gut reaction would be the new helicarriers that we're going to be seeing, right? So we got a couple new helicarriers, but there are also some really good shield supports that you can pull from other aspects. Med Team, I think if you're running a leadership Maria, Med Team is going to be amazing, especially if you're Voltroning some stuff. You're going to be able to sorry, I just got an error on YouTube. I hope everything is okay. You're going to be able to heal them up, but also just the helicarriers are crazy. So you do have to include the maximum number of copies. So if you're running a Med Team, you have to include 3 of them. Triskelion outside of leadership sounds really good. Yep. Command Team outside of leadership feels really good, especially if you're like aggressioning or something like that. Tag Team, no. Surveillance Team, no. Med Team, yes. Command Team, yes. Triskelion. Yeah, I think there's a lot of options, and I think we're gonna see a couple more. Field Agents, yes. Yeah, that's the other one. Good call. Good call. Yeah. So Maria's gonna be dealing a lot with counters, and she's gonna want to be putting those counters onto some of her uh bigger upgrades, or bigger supports, I should say, or bigger helicarriers, because those have some incredibly powerful events. So a Field Agent, which is a 1 cost that comes in with 3 counters, that's going to be really good for the cards we're about to see. Triskelion is a target for global logistics and justice. Oh, that's cool, because it doesn't have any exhaustible effects, so it's just a free version for global logistics or homeland intervention. When we flip it over, each ally you control gains the shield trait. 2/1/2 stat line, 5 hand size. And then reassignment, max action, move 1 all-purpose counter from a shield support to another shield support, limit once per round. So thank you for the subscription. How you doing? Wow, 30 months. That's crazy. Shields up. Hey, everybody. Happy to have you here. This is insane. So what I really like about the each ally you control gains the shield trait, you get to mess with some, like, Field Agent works now because they're preventing any consequential for any ally you control. The cool thing is that any ally that you play then can trigger Sky Destroyer, because this is a constant effect. So you play, I cannot think of a you play Blade, right? I was like, you play Maria. Nope, that doesn't work. You play Mockingbird. Nope, she already has the shield trait. My mind is in shield right now. So you play someone like Blade, right? A 1 cost non-shield traded comes in. He now has the shield trait, which you can then use Sky Destroyer that triggers after a shield card enters play. It does have the shield trait now. Throw 2 damage. Or you can use your allies to exhaust for global logistics or stuff like that. The reassignments is the more exciting part of this card, though, I think, because moving those all-purpose counters, which is just any counter, to another gives you so much flexibility. And you don't have to exhaust or anything like that. And the fact that we're going to see some insane cards that use those counters, that we can, like, move a counter from Field Agent over, gonna be crazy. Her signature ally is Nick Fury. So I think the worst part about both of these decks is that you're not able to play leadership Maria here, or Nick Fury here. The card pool is big enough that it doesn't really matter. But Nick Fury, this Nick Fury is really good. But core Nick Fury is very, very solid. 4 cost, 2/2/3. After Nick uses a basic power, place 1 all-purpose counter on a shield support. I'll trade that for basic Nick all day. It seems really good. Sorry about that bump. Seems really good. Nick also does not get discarded at the end of the round, which is something new and exciting, that Nick gets to stick around for a little bit longer. He's not used to that. But throwing an all-purpose counter on, like, Pericles, which we'll see here in a second, to stun and confuse, that's going to be amazing. Plus, a 2/2/3 stat line is really solid. This is a very solid call for backup target, right? Just get him out, go. Such a good ally. Hey, champion. Yeah. And the flexibility that Maria is going to have with her reassignments, as well as Nick and other cards that we were going to see, is just going to be insane. Hey, All Points Bulletin. Look at that. That's my card that I got to spoil. All Points Bulletin is a 2 cost event. We do have 2 of these. As a hero action, for each shield support you control, we can remove a threat from a scheme or deal 1 damage to an enemy. Talked about it a little bit in the video where the card was revealed. Really interesting play line, because a lot of the thoughts around how to build Maria were going to be these huge helicarriers, and you need like, I don't know, 3, probably 6 shield supports in order for this to be worth the damage, and like only like 4 or 5 threat. The flexibility changes the math slightly on that, because you can split it up and divide it however you would choose. But uh, if you have like a ton of field agents out, now like it's a lot easier to hit that threshold, if rather than if you just have like the 6 cost helicarriers. Kind of cool. Maria with a psychic deck sounds. Oh, Maria with a psychic sounds awesome. Yeah, because Nick is gonna hang out forever side by side, and you get to ready and just trigger this all over again. Yeah, that sounds really good. I like that. I'm a big fan of that. Take out Maria being a support only character. If she builds correctly, I can see her as an S tier character. Alrighty. Alrighty, I like it. On the double, ready any number of shield supports with a combined printed cost of 6 or less. Nice. We'll see some exciting shield supports, but the ones that we have not seen, I think Command Team could be really interesting here. You could ready 3 Command Teams and get 3 more activations out of your allies. If you're Voltroning like an Iron Man who's hitting for 6, removing threat, destroying everything, if you get 6 activations of that every single turn, yeah, that's going to be really good. With Psychic, you can also use Field Agents to prevent Nick from... Oh, good call, yeah. Yeah, very good call. All Points Bulletin makes multiple Field Agents, and Command Team's a lot more worth it. Yeah, Web Warrior did like 8 damage in one of his games. Nice. Yeah. My only concern with like that strategy is if you have gotten to where you're doing 8 damage with an All Points Bulletin, have you already won the game? That's kind of the question. It's not necessarily how strong can it be. It's the opportunity cost of what you did not play to get to the point where you're doing 8 damage with an All Points Bulletin. I don't know. That's just a question that is in the back of my mind. I'm not saying that is the case. I'm just saying like, cool, right? Like if you have built your board state up that much, could you have won 2 turns ago? Maybe. I don't know. I love how thematic Maria is. Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. commanding all the helicarriers and field agent. Yeah. Is Tag Team worth playing now? I would probably still say no. Tag Team's too expensive for what it does. It's too slow and too expensive, I think. Maria would also love playing pool with the Yeah, she would. Yeah, she would. That's ooh, I like that. This is why Legacy is coming. True, it was like 20 damage in 1 turn. Yeah, right? And so could you have used Iliad or something like that to deal that a turn ago? I don't know. It's just something that is going to be exciting to try and figure out as we were playing. I can see him being one of those cards that's better Yeah, 100%. I think that's a better multiplayer card where there's just more room to build and you have to do more damage and it's just going to take longer. 100%. Jason, thank you for the subscription. It's shield time. Let's go. Heck yeah. Thank you so very much for this sub. What a pool oh my gosh, I would love a pool helicarrier. They should have added one in here. That would have been great. Is it like super like buffering? Is the video like kind of like crazy right now? I keep getting errors and I don't know why. But here is our reinforcements. Choose any number of shield upgrades with the combined printed cost of 6 or less. Place 1 all-purpose counter on each of those supports. Insane. We got 3 of those. I'm really excited to look and see what those helicarriers are. There's a small hiccup, but it's fine now. Okay, cool. Sweet. I don't know. I wonder there's a like our like Roomba thing will sometimes hit the internet and turn it off. So that's what I'm always concerned about, is just like a killing the stream. I'm like, no. Oh my gosh. The hard call. This is a 2-cost event. Discard a shield support you control. Deal X damage to each enemy where X is the printed cost of the discarded support. Now you're good on Twitch. Sweet. Maybe discard all your allies and deals damage equal to the remaining hit points. That'd be sick. I'd play that. So the hard call. We're just going to skip ahead. I want to look at this because so many things are referencing shield supports, and a lot of the old shield supports that we have are not as good as some of the new ones that we have. Aim, Roombas, Saboteur. I'm excited to try leadership build with the Cap ally with command teams and field agents, and an upgrade for 2. He could be a beast. Yeah. And then Cersei to cheat him out. That'd be awesome. Yeah. To kind of give you an idea of where some of these helicarriers are going, we have the Iliad, 6 cost support, very expensive, right? Very, very expensive. We can exhaust the Iliad. Iliad comes in with 3 counters and remove 1 counter to choose to deal 5 damage to an enemy, remove 4 threat from a scheme, or heal 3 damage from an identity. So now, once we get this in, which Maria can do a little bit easier, especially on like her action, you can exhaust, search your deck, and if you've drawn 6 cards, now you have the effective resources to play the 6th card because that's your 7th card. This is an effective cost of 7. You can get the Iliad out. Now, this is 15 damage for 6 cost, but if you're moving counters around or you're using reinforcements to add counters here, this is a 1 cost or effectively 2 cost for 5 damage. That's pretty good. So there's ways to manipulate the counters with Maria so that you can get some crazy benefits like this. Removing 4 threat from the scheme, healing 3 damage from an identity. I do think that she'll have a really fun support build, but just to kind of show, like Nick, whenever he thwarts, he's removing 2 threat. He's removing 6 threat with the Iliad. So that's kind of crazy. The hard call, you can discard the Iliad and deal 6 damage to everything. For 2 costs. So like while TAC team, surveillance team, all of these are kind of in consideration for this, these big helicarriers are really where we're going. Do you think we'll see more expensive cards like that in the future? Is this the last time we'll see them because of the current state of things in FFG? No, I think we'll see more expensive cards. Yeah. I think the game is at a point where more expensive cards are easier to print, mainly because like we have a lot of cheaper cards. It'd be so sad when nowhere is safe. Makes me discard one of those 6 cost No. Do you think the aspect helicarriers are viable with the characters other than Maria? Yeah, I do. Discard your highest cost support. I don't know if the 4 helicarriers will be played in other decks other than Maria Hill. I think they will be. I think some of them will be. Especially with like people like Iron Man, I could see. People with incredible economies. Spider-Ham is going to love it. Anyone who likes Alter Ego is going to really like it, especially if you're running meditation, because you can exhaust to cheat out those helicarriers a lot better. I think they are best in Maria Hill, but I do think that we will see some of them played in other decks. Yes. I think meditation will make them viable for any character who already uses Yeah. The other thing is they are shield traded, so government liaison can discount them. If you have like War Machine doesn't work because he only has shield. I don't think we have any characters with shield in their hero form other than Maria and Nick, now that I'm thinking about it. So you can't necessarily do that for like a team building exercise, but you could also look at like Captain Marvel or Hulk that have the triple resources. Those can get them out really easily. So I think there's a lot of characters that could use them if you build around it. Here's a hot take. You play Spider-Woman, you get 2 different aspects. Nice. Maria Hill gets the 3rd one. GG 3 helicarriers. The aggression helicarriers wipes almost all minions in play and then bypasses guard. Green Goblin is sweating. Nice. Same with Master Mold, right? Because everyone gains guard. We got special funding. This is a resource card, a double resource with a mental physical. So you love to see it for home technique, I guess. After you spend this card to pay for a shield support, place 1 all-purpose counter on that support after it enters play. Very cool. You can throw, if you use special funding to pay for the Iliad, it comes in with 4, which is crazy. Team building exercise and government liaison can't stack anyways because they make you play the card. That is true. I was just thinking of like different ways to do it because they're I'm not a huge government liaison player. I don't think he's great. But I think here it makes a little bit more sense. The other interesting is if you play special funding to play government liaison, my understanding is you place an all-purpose counter on government liaison, even though he doesn't use it, then you can use reassignment to move it. So that's kind of interesting. That being said, yeah, I mean helicarrier, all of that kind of stuff. That's the resource. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan, I wish government liaison could stack, would make it much better. Yeah, it really would. It really would. The nice thing is, I guess the trade-off there is in multiplayer, you can play them out of turn. So there's that. I hope there will be a card like Honorary X-Men to have the shield. Yeah, that'd be great. We got support staff. This is a 1-cost support. We can exhaust it. It comes with 3 counters and remove one of those counters to generate a wild resource for a player whose identity has the shield trait. Very cool support card. Nice little web shooter for Maria, right? That's effectively the same thing, but it's a web shooter that can pass that resource to a war machine and alter ego or something like that. It's also a counter, so you can move counters to it. You can take counters away from it. Good card. Life Model Decoy, the other card that came in my spoilers. 2-cost upgrade. Interrupt when an enemy attacks you. Discard this. Prevents all damage from the attack. Not as good as EM Shield, mainly because this is a when the enemy attacks you. EM Shield is when you would take damage. This does not have the defense trait, so it's not going to trigger any of your defense upgrades or anything like that. It's a nice tech to have, though, right? Especially with 9 hit points. Being able to use Life Model Decoy, if you get a surprise attack, you don't have a way to chump block. That's a nice like panic button. That being said, would I rather just play a 2-cost ally? Probably. Right? Like, would I rather play this or Ironheart? Ironheart. Ironheart removes the threat and triggers Life Model Decoy. So that is the consideration. This is in the deck. It is a tech card. It is a preparation card. So there are like shenanigans that you can use with like that card that we just pulled, like practice plan. You can recur it, unless the villain has a lot of overkill. Yeah, yes, very good call. Yeah, if the villain has overkill, yeah, we want to use Life Model Decoy. It can also just be used as a ready. I don't see Maria repurposing that much. I think she's going to be more the control player, but I do like the art. And then the last card in the Maria Precon here is the Shield Director. We can exhaust this to place an all-purpose counter on a shield support. So freaking good, so good. Probably good enough to run superpower training. These are our only 2 upgrades actually. But since this is a replayable upgrade, it gets discarded after you use it. Superpower training is a little bit more interesting at that point, because you'll probably always have a target, even late game, for superpower training. Shield Director, I feel like superpower training, or this is good enough to run superpower training to effectively have a second copy of Shield Director, because once you have Shield Director onto the table, you can just like, yeah, Shield Director's dumb. No more tech in her deck? I don't believe so. I think it's just this one, but crazy the superpower of being director of shield. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, yeah, no, Maria looks insane. Being able to command just like the support army, and when I say support, I'm meaning like the card type support. I also think she could be a very good support player in like a 4-player game, being able to heal with the Iliad, just doing a lot of stuff around the table, being very flexible in that sense. But just like, yeah, Maria's gonna be sick. I'm really looking forward to playing Maria. Let's look at her Nemesis and Obligation and see if that's as bad as Nyx. Nyx is not Valkyrie level bad, but I do think Nyx is a little bit scarier. We got the press conference. Oof. This is the scariest scariest obligation out there. Public speaking. Press conference, give to the Maria Hill player. Forced response, after the player phase ends, remove one all-purpose counter from each support. That's brutal. Exhaust your identity to discard this card as an alter ego action. That is almost like you have to get rid of that. Now, if you're oh my gosh, yeah, because if you've built out like your entire board with all of your shield supports and you lose like 6 counters, that's brutal. Press conference is mean. It is discarded, same thing as Nyx, so you will potentially see it again and again. So relatable, right? Yeah. I lose everything. We got Controller. This is not the Nemesis minion. Oh, I guess it is the Nemesis minion. Yeah. Controller. Two scheme, 1 attack, 6 health, another 6 health. After Controller activates against you, remove 1 all-purpose counter from a support. If Controlled Innocence, oh, that's another card. I was like, what is that saying? If Controlled Innocence is in play, put the top card of your deck into play, face down, engage with you as a controlled minion. Oh, that's cool. Maria's Fear, since they all have uses, you have to remove the last counter, you lose the whole card, yeah. And Maria's Fear, more than her obligation. Caught off guard, turn 1. Oof, brutal. So you're getting a controlled minion. I'm guessing that Army of the Controlled is going to tell us what a controlled minion is, maybe? This is a when revealed. Find the controlled innocence environment. Oh, it's an environment. Got it. Okay. And then when defeated, discard each controlled minion, place 1 all-purpose counter on a support for each minion discarded this way. That seems really good. Man, I'm really scared about what these controlled things do. I have the impression that Maria plays a lot with other players. She will heal the allies of others. She can give resources. Yeah. Yeah, she looks like a lot of fun. And Controlled Innocence is what it has all been leading up to. Each face-down controlled minion engaged with a player has a base scheme of 1, base attack of 1, and base hit points of 1. After a controlled minion is defeated, place that card in its owner's discard pile and place 1 threat on the main scheme. Very interesting Nemesis. So far, it doesn't seem too scary, but it is interesting. We got 2 Diabolical Disc. So this is a treachery card. This surges, which is annoying. When revealed, remove 1 all-purpose counter from a support. If Controlled Innocence is in play, put the top card of your deck face down as a controlled minion. There is... What's kind of interesting here, there's no way to get rid of this environment. So once it's out, it's out. And yeah, like Ultron and Drones, yeah. Once it's out, it's out. So there really isn't I don't think there's a way to get rid of it. And so it gets way more challenging. I guess like Global Logistics will be really good because you can like modify and pitch Controlled Innocence. That'd be pretty cool. I think the reason people don't like this expansion is because Marvel Champions is a hero versus villain, and Nick Fury and Maria Hill don't feel like heroes. Yeah, I really like Shield. I like the idea of Shield, and so I'm happy with the expansion and the theming of the expansion. This is one of my favorite parts of Marvel is like the Shield stuff, and so I'm pretty happy with it. But yeah, I totally see it. It's not Hulk, right? So you can't pitch Controlled Innocence because Side Scheme comes out with the Nemesis. Oh, good call. Yep, that's annoying. Nice. That's interesting. It's a really cool way to modify the game. Alrighty. We got a leadership precon, because of course we do. We got a Victoria Hand, 3-cost ally, 2/1/2. After she enters play, ready as shield support. Insane. So good. For Maria, it's not a card that I'm putting in every single one of my decks. That being said, it is worth noting that Helicarrier is a shield support. So Victoria Hand, Helicarrier, play her. She thwarts, blocks, and then you get to ready Helicarrier and use it again. So they're not worst case scenario, but one of the worst case scenarios is just getting another resource generator online that's basic that can be played with anybody. So Victoria works if you're playing Hulk, right? You can still pitch Shadow yeah, that's true. Agent 13 is going to be bananas with Maria. It's going to be so good. We got Slingshot. 3 cost, 2 thwarts, 2 attack, 3. Shield Spy traded. Spend a lightning resource. Put Slingshot into play from your hand under any player's control. At the end of the phase, if Slingshot is still in play, return her to your hand. Got sneak attack, but it works. Really cool. You can throw Slingshot out there, have her thwart for 2. 1 lightning resource for 2 thwarts is not super great, but if you have like a command team, ready or up, thwart again. And the way that I understand this, chat, please help me if this is not the correct way. At the end of the phase, you draw up to your hand size before the end of the phase. And so you will draw up to, like, let's say 5 cards, then return Slingshot to your hand for a 6th card. I think that's right. Personally, I prefer original gameplay rather than hero thing. One of my favorite hero gameplay wise, or less interesting theme wise. Yeah. Incredible heroes in the comments, and people don't see them as cool as the other heroes. The spy. I like spy. I like spy stuff. 6 hand size basically. Nice. Yep. Same as to me my X-Men. Yeah. So in that sense, like, it kind of washes out. You're effectively banking that resource for your next turn. You could play her every single time and effectively go up 1 hand size. But I mean, it's a 2 effective cost to remove 2 threat. Is that worth it? I don't know. It's interesting. We do have organizational support. I really think that this card is fun. So this is a resource card, as a mental, as an interrupt. When you spin this card, exhaust up to 3 allies and or supports that share a trait with your identity. Generate the printed resources on each card exhausted this way. That's insane, right? Especially for tribal decks. I'm thinking like a Cyclops deck, right? This works so well in Maria because every single ally that Maria has, same with like Peter or Star-Lord, every single ally that Maria or Star-Lord have shares a trait with that hero. So you play a ton of allies. This is like another band together. You do have to exhaust them, but like if you exhaust Triskelion, nothing bad happens, right? It's not an exhaustible effect. It is a 4 resource card, so it is a little bit better than Band Together in that sense because Band Together starts with 0 resources. I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. It's also a really good way to cheat out some of those 6-cost helicarriers. That'll be really nice. But organizational support is fun. How good it will be, we will see. But I think it's gonna be fun. 4 resource card. Iceman Snow Cones. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Sure is another hero expansion I will not buy. Silk is a must-have. Nice. We've got the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is our team-up card. If each of your characters has the S.H.I.E.L.D. trait, this card gains Interrupt. When you reveal an encounter card, exhaust this card. Cancel the effects of that card, discard it, then reveal another card from the encounter deck. Nice. So Maria, as long as you are in hero form, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. always will trigger because everyone will have the S.H.I.E.L.D. trait. And it can get you out of some sticky situations because some of those encounter cards are pretty brutal. The nice thing is it's not a treachery cancel, it is an encounter card cancel. So this cancels Sauron. This cancels fanaticism. This cancels things that are not just treacheries, which is nice. Infinite Spycraft. Exactly, yeah. And so I think that this is going to be really good in Maria. I don't know about others. I don't know if we have a ton or enough shield cards to make it worth running outside of Maria. Cancels Advanced Goblin Glider. That's a good one. Yes. The dot stickers, I keep all of my cards in a binder. Or 1 copy of each card in a binder. Organized by aspect and everything. And so the dots mean that the card is going to go into the binders. So if it's a unique card or if it's the 3rd copy of a card, I put it into the binder, and then all the other ones get organized by alphabetical in a box. So this card will go into the binder. These 2 cards will go under my A divider in my box. So I can flip through and just build the decks really quickly. We got Command Team. Look at that. And since like Command Team is a reprint, David, I'm not going to put a sticker on Command Team because I already have a Command Team in my binder. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Um, it makes it really easy to flip through and just find cards pretty easily to build decks. So Command Team, exhaust, remove a counter, ready an ally. It was good before Maria. It's really good now. so yeah. Happy with that. Now we're gonna be talking about the helicarriers. This is where the fun begins. Alrighty. So all of these are 6 cost. Let me pull out the Iliad because that is another one that Maria's definitely going to be playing with. The Iliad is Maria's signature helicarrier. We have one for each aspect, and I think one of the strategies with the alter ego Maria deck building is to just include all of these helicarriers because I think they are pretty good. So first up, we have the Circe, 6 cost helicarrier. It comes in with 2 deploy counters. As a action, we can exhaust the Circe, remove 1 deploy counter from it, choose a player. That player may put an ally into play from their hand. Insane. You want to play Dum Dum? He's free. Well, I guess this is 7, so he's effectively 3.5 cost. But as you're moving counters to Circe, you're going to be able to play them more and more frequently. Which helicarrier do I think is the best one? I think the answer to that question depends on what turn is it in the game. Turn 1, Pericles. Let's just talk about Pericles. I think this is probably the first one he grabbed using Maria's ability. Pericles comes in with 2 supply counters. Exhaust the Pericles and remove 1 supply counter from it. Give a hero or villain a status card of your choice. Give an ally or minion a status card of your choice. So you can give the villain Confuse. This is an action. Confuse, stay in alter ego, build again. Has to be in your hand though. I think Circe is a bit overrated. I think where Circe really shines is in multiplayer. Because now, if anybody has Nick Fury in their hand, I can use the Circe as the Maria Hill player to call on an action and play her for free. So I think that's where it shines. But also, like, getting 2 free allies out at a time when you need them out seems very good. Especially higher cost allies, right? Being able to play the Circe using Agent 13, putting Agent 13 into play, reading the Circe if you have 2 cards and playing another one feels really good. Playing Nick, anything that costs more than 3.5 resources feels really good to play. Then you can also just load this back up. I think the Circe is pretty flashy. I think the Circe is probably the best one for multiplayer. The Iliad is also just so good. I'm interested for some weird combo with Pericles. Like, would it be good to give Colossus a tough? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It would be nice if you have an ally in play. Like Pericles with Claw. Confuse Claw, confuse the minion that you start with. Pericles. Thank you. Okay, sweet. Thank you. Pericles. Alrighty. I will probably forget that, but thank you. Cyclops will rename Circe the Mutant Generator. Yeah. I think Circe, Pericles are both really interesting. I think Pericles is the one you start with. Right? Like Maria gets to start with effectively one of these on the table. I think Pericles is the right one because it helps you get the next one on the table. Like I can see a lot of Maria's initial turns being tutor Pericles, play Pericles, confuse villain, stay in alter ego, do it again with the Iliad or something like that. But like this, with Maria's ability, the villain just never activates. It's a consistent stun or confuse, whichever one you need, and the villain just does not play the game. Seems really good. We've got the Bellerophon. The Bell comes in with 3 counters. Pericles and Circe comes in with 2. This one comes in with 3. As a action, we can exhaust the Bell, remove 1 missile counter from it, choose a player, deal 3 damage to the villain, and each minion engaged with that player, discarding all tough status cards from those enemies first. It's good. It's really good. A little bit more situational than the other 2, or I guess the other 3 that we've seen. If you're playing a Thanos, I don't know if I'm running this card. I may look to try and find a different shield support to throw in there. Mainly because like Thanos has 2 minions in his deck. Take that, Armadillo. Yeah, because you discard all tough status cards from the enemy. Yeah, that's amazing. That's awesome. That's a really, really fun call, no feat. Yeah. The only downside is steady. That's true. Yeah. If you're running against Thanos, you're probably not running the Pericles. Definition of the Bell. Green Goblin and Zola's worst nightmare. Yeah. Gets around Retaliate, gets around Guard, as we were chatting about earlier. The red one's a lot better than I thought, but yeah, it's situational. I mean, like, yes. Minimum, it's 6 for 9, which is not a good trade-off at all, right? Like, you don't want to be paying, or 7 effective cost for 9 damage. That's not where you want to be living your life. If you have minions, if you have 1 minion on the table, each time you activate it, that's 7 for 18. I think I would probably want that would probably be worth it. I think at that point, if you're able to hit a minion and the villain 3 times, I think that would be worth the investment of a 7 effective cost card, because that's 18 damage. If you are able to discard tough status cards, which ironically, like I said, don't do it with Thanos, but he has so much tough that maybe you do. But the scenario is a minion swarm, yeah. Then if you're looking at like a risky business, or not risky business, I'm sorry, mutagen formula, where you're looking at, you're going to have 3 minions engaged with you. Now every single one of these counters is going to be 12 damage. And if you use it 3 times, yeah, that's really, really good. I would say that the aggression one is the most situational. I don't know if I would call it the worst. I would actually probably call it the worst, but I think I think it has a huge amount of variance based on the scenario you're playing. We got the Douglas. This is a 6 cost Justice Helicarrier, 3 operation counters. We can exhaust it, remove a counter to remove 2 threat from each scheme, ignoring any crisis icons. I actually think that this one's probably a little bit worse than the Bell. Yeah, the Pericles. You can also give yourself a tough. That's a really good call. So yeah, Pericles, I think feels kind of the best. I think the Douglas actually feels the worst. Situational, right? If you have permanent side schemes, it can get pretty good. Yeah. But out of these, I would probably rank them in best is Pericles, Iliad, Circe, Bell, Douglas. I think that would be my tier ranking for it. And then if you're playing Zola, this pops up. If you're playing, yeah, Piercing. Yeah. If you have an ally out, Pericles, so good. For me, the leadership one is the one that can be included in a deck regardless of the villain. Yep. I agree. I think Pericles can also be that because you can give yourself a status card, which feels pretty good. But yeah, I think Circe is probably the best one. The most scenario independent one. But regardless, I'm really excited about them. Game 1, we're running all of them. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have a ton of fun with it. We got Dum Dum Dugan. Seen him before. We know him. He's a 5 cost 3/3/5. Whenever you use one of his basic powers, one of his incredibly powerful basic powers, you can exhaust up to 3 shield supports. For each one, he gets +1 for that use. So yeah, really good. Triskelion, minimum 4 thwart. He takes 3 damage, but if you have field agents out, you can prevent some of that damage. If you have med teams, you can heal him. Cersei can cheat him in. I like it. That's not a shield support, unfortunately. I was like, oh, can you no, this is just a team trade. It's not a shield support, unfortunately. I also imagine the yellow one with Red Skull. Yeah. Red Skull. Yeah. Let him pop all his side schemes and clear them all in one turn. That'd be cool. That'd be really, really cool. I think some other interesting plays like Nova could really like what's this one called? The Douglas. I think Nova could really like it because 2 threat is probably not going to clear side schemes, but it's going to set, like if you had 3 side schemes with 3 threat, Nova on an unleash turn can clear everything down to 1, and then he can thwart ready, and draw 3 cards in the same turn. So like I think there are builds that you can kind of like play around with the yellow one, but I think it's more situational. I forgot the stat line for Maria. It's a 2-1-2. 2-1-2-9. Pericles gives Dum Dum a tough. Oh, that's sick. Yes. Yes, Jared. Yes. Now we're cooking. Team cards don't have the associated team trait. Yeah. Feels like they should, right? We got Grant Ward. 0 cost. 2/2/3. He cannot defend. After you reveal a treachery, you can spend a mental resource. If you do not take damage equal to Grant Ward's attack and remove him from the game. Honestly, just a 0 cost ally feels really good. He cannot defend, but like a 0 cost ally that you can get out on turn 1, thwart, and if you take 2 damage and discard him, that's not great. But if you miss a treachery, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you can cancel that treachery. Like, he can stay out for a while. Like, a 0 cost. The fact that he can't defend is a little tough, but The red one also replenishes Hall of Heroes. Unfortunately, it does not. Because it's a support, it does not count as you defeating the minions. And so, for Hall of Heroes, you have to defeat them, meaning that your hero, meaning an event or an upgrade has to do it. A support won't trigger it, unfortunately. That'd be cool, though. That'd be really cool. Grant Ward was a trader in the show. Oh, that's cool. That's very fun. Nice. I entered late to the stream, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not available in the US yet. It was available today. It's available today. I think it came out. Yeah. So most of my local stores were sold out. I had to go to a store that was about 35 minutes away to get it. We got Melinda May. 4/2/2/3. After she uses a basic power, look at the top card of the encounter deck. You can discard that card. Does Melinda May and Grant Ward have any like thematic synergy? With Grant Ward, you can attack thwart twice with Field Agent, and then use that leadership card that discards an ally. Oh, yeah. Does that card increase it by their cost? Good morning, Wing Zero. How's it going? Because I feel like Melinda May and Grant Ward have a lot of synergy mechanically because you're able to discard those treacheries. So it'd be really cool if there was some sort of thematic reasoning behind it. It's the best, like, no, their stats. Oh, cool. Oh, nice. Yeah. I already have more of this game than I'll ever play. So many cards. Yeah, right. Is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. the show worth watching? Sort of, they're both in the show, but I don't remember their relationship being too important. Okay. Command team on him to kill him in 1 turn. Yeah, right. Go, 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 go. Super Spies. Seen it before. In the Nick pack. The team up card, put a total of 3 all-purpose counters on shield supports and or suit form upgrades. That's 3 more allies. That is 3 more villain blocks with the Pericles. Very good. Not Noble Sacrifice, but the other one. The one that just came out. Yeah. 100% worth watching. Okay, sweet. That's good to know. I'm going to add it to my list. Today is new Drive to Survive season. Got released today, so very excited about that. Show us it's up and down, but yeah, it's worth it. Sweet. We do get the new Strength, Energy, and Genius, which I'm looking and noticing that Nick did not come with these in his precon, but got a Maria Energy. You got Genius and Strength. I do think that they said that they were planning on making more of these with the different releases, or did I dream that? I don't actually remember. But I'm all for different art versions of these cards. My advice, the show is definitely worth watching, but don't try and binge it. One of those shows that has every episode being bum bum bum. Now it's even worse. Is Nick the first hero to not have doubles in his precon? No. I could not call them out to you, but no. Agents of Shield is not on Amazon yet. That's why I didn't notice that its release was today. I wonder if they do like a release to Game Source first. Adam Warlock didn't have it. Spider didn't have it. One of my biggest regrets is that there's no Guardian double. Oh yeah, yeah. And then the last card in the unboxing port, we got the Front Organization. Play under any player's control. When an encounter card effect would discard a card you control, discard this instead of discarding that card. So that protects Grants, I think. Nope. Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't, because Grant is not an encounter card that requires me to discard. Grant discards himself. But Front Organization protects you against like a cutoff card or something like that. It's on Amazon, but the delivery date is 10 days out. Oh, geez. Yeah, I called. It was, I think, like the first 3 game stores that I called / went to did not have it in stock. They were sold out of it. What's the late wave I like the least? Probably Guardians. Just because I don't love all the villains that it came with. It did not have a Guardians didn't have a scenario pack. And so that also makes me takes a hit from me. But yeah. Does the Reality Stone discard ally upgrade support count as an encounter card effect? I believe so. Yes. I like to package each hero set with its own set of doubles because it's very rare that I don't want them anytime it's not there. Oh yeah. Sweet. Alrighty. Really cool precon. I'm really excited about all of the helicarriers. I'm excited to try Maria. I think we're gonna do Maria first. We're gonna try and play a Maria game first. So we're gonna leave this out. We're gonna modify the precon a little bit. Agent 13 is definitely going in this deck. Probably don't need organizational. So maybe we do. I don't know. It's just like a lot of resource cards. There's already 8 resource cards with her doubles in it too. So yeah, I'm gonna do a hero spotlight for Maria and Nick. Yeah. So I think like playing a couple games today, and then next week we'll be doing a lot more with Agents of Shield. Probably playing it through the campaign, and then I'll play a couple of games off stream as well. But so I'm gonna go to the Be Right Back screen. I'm gonna go get a refill. Some field agents probably. Yeah. Well, actually, probably not. I think what we'll probably build is just keep all 4 of the helicarriers in here just to kind of get a feel and play the helicarriers. And since we're playing leadership, we cannot pull. We would have to cut one of our helicarriers, and I figured we might as well try it. St. Matthew just arrived. Good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, we're about to play Maria. Front Organization will be best for Nemesis obligation cards. Oh yeah, no feet. That's a really great call. Today against which villains? That's a good question. What do we want to play against? Is there a villain from the new set that we want to play against? Do we want to play against just Black Widow? We could. I mean, like we could. Might as well, right? Play against Black Widow and see how that goes. Because I think this is the first in the set. So, or if someone has played through the box and there's the collector. Why? Oh, sorry, I just blacked out there for a second. if there is a better villain that you think is a good thing that doesn't shake up the game too much, I think Black Widow does. But then we can kind of like showcase and just like test drive the decks a little bit. But it would be I would love to play a new villain. Black Widow is a good first matchup with good threat pressure. Sick. Let's do it. Okay, well, I'm gonna go to the be right back, so I stop embarrassing myself trying to open these cards. But I'll be back in a couple minutes. I'm gonna go grab a drink, and we'll be back and play some Black Widow. See ya against Magneto. I mean, I like Magneto. In the podcast episode we recorded yesterday with Caleb, we talked about how Magneto is probably one of both mine and Villain's favorite villains. Well, we may see some Magneto. Who knows? Alrighty, I'll see you all very soon.